How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. Ripple reached a settlement with long-running lawsuit with GCC. Yash Rashid, the director of GCC Exchange, a global money transfer service provider, revealed his company had settled with Ripple. They did a no admission of liability. It means Ripple and GCC chose to settle without either party admitting any wrongdoing. Ripple instituted a lawsuit against them for not paying for 40,000 XRP transfers, which amounted to over 15 million. So now it has all been settled. The SEC has also responded to Ripple's opposition to the motion to compel. They argued that the requests aren't untimely like Ripple suggested and that they are procedurally proper. It further noted how both parties agreed to permissible discovery, which could cover post-complaint matters. In the filing, the SEC highlighted how it sought contracts, emails, and other documents relating to Ripple's post-complaint XRP sales as far back as May 2021. So they're going after the non-exchange sales of XRP here. Meanwhile, citing a precious case, the SEC rebutted Ripple's argument that its financial condition was irrelevant to penalties because it didn't intend to argue its inability to pay. They say that the extent to a defendant's wealth is relevant because they need to calculate the size of the penalty necessary for deterrence. Core Scientific resumes trading today. So Core Scientific highlighted the success of its restructuring plan. They reduced $40 million of debt. The strategy involved the conversion of debt from equipment lenders and convertible note holders into equity, signaling a positive step for the company's financial health. Some of the big names like BlackRock and investment bank B. Riley were part of Core Scientific's restructuring plans.
The Bitcoin miners' restructuring plan aims to further reduce debt burdens, the conversion of remaining convertible debt, along with the utilization of available cash to make debt payments. So they're focused on reducing their debt. That's good because you want lower debt and more income. Core Scientific has unveiled ambitious plans to boost this mining capacity. Besides, the company also aims to deploy new Bitcoin miners and grow its mining capacity by 50% in the next 4 years. The company is gearing up for the deployment and activation of nearly 27,000 new Bitmain S19 XP Bitcoin miners. This is in addition to the expected deployment of around 12,000 Bitmain S21 Bitcoins that will be deployed mid-2024. So, good expansion. They have some good investors being BlackRock. This may be positive for them going forward.
ARK Invest COO hints at developments in spot Ethereum ETF filing. When asked whether the spot ETF was on the cards, ARK Invest President and Chief Operating Officer Tom Stewart said the approval was coming soon. He recalled that ARK Invest was the first applicant to file for an ETF with the SEC and hence expressed confidence of an approval in the near future. Speaking to Fox Business journalist Eleanor Tourette, the ARK Invest COO said that the discussions with the SEC gives them confidence of the possibility of an ETH ETF approval, both from legal, principle, and implementation standpoint. So this is good. They do have a good feeling that it'll have no legal headwinds, a good implementation. So maybe that means the SEC is going to back off of their everything but Bitcoin's a security kick, and we may see some sensible regulation coming now. Over on the Dixie for the daily, we did attempt to break our support of 102.893, but we were unsuccessful. This is technically a long lower shadow candle. If it closes like this, that could show, if we get a strong green candle afterwards, that we would have a further uptrend, and that could mean we may see some of our Bitcoin and other coins start to sell off, as it seems to be when Dixie goes up, Bitcoin tends to drop. Dixie dropped today, Bitcoin's up. Stochastic's heading down, RSI's heading down, momentum's rolling away, VWAP is slightly in that bearish territory, but not gaining much strength. If the VWAP doesn't dig deep into the bearish territory, and we see it round up and pull into the bullish territory from here, we would have a very weak dip, and then we'll break back into bullish territory, and that would suggest that the dollar index could increase and push toward that 105 resistance that we have, and possibly further. Remember, we have this gap zone back here that we did end up filling, but it was a pretty decent range of support resistance before the bear market break. So we could end up getting back into those zones here on the dollar index as well if we're able to break and hold above our 103. Over on the total, if you're not familiar with these indicators, go to Market Cipher B. This is on TradingView. It's all for free, just like the information we're giving you. That's why you should hit the subscribe, smash that notification bell. That way you see everything every night and you can continue to learn. Visit our Mastering the Trade playlist. We got fixed one of the videos. I'll be releasing that after this video. but it's going to start to teach you the basics that you need to know and then get more into more advanced concepts and ideas that you need to know. So if there's any questions you have about trading, drop them in the comments down below, and if we can include it, we will, or we'll make a separate video. Or I'll just respond to your comment if it's something quick and simple that doesn't really need much of a video. But no question can't really help you. If you ask a question, no question's a bad question. So Market Cipher B and Market Cipher A free version 1.1. These are both what we're using. Market Cipher A, you will want to go to this gear, change your inputs to as following, change your style for your EMA colors to as following with an opacity of 70%, then your EMAs will look like mine. We're going to cover what those EMAs are in that trading playlist a little bit later. I think it's in the beginner level. We're almost done with the intro level, so I think about 2 or 3 weeks and we'll start getting into more of how these indicators actually operate. Over on the daily, for total, we are making a bounce off this range. This range is our previous bear market breakdown zone, so we are making a bounce off the bottom of that zone. If we continue to bounce and push forward from here, we may see price action increase. Our RSI is overall heading down. It is trying to curl forward, but it's overall in a bearish trend as it's falling. So I would watch for that to continue. If that continues, price action will continue to fall off. Stochastic is pushing down. It does want to make a bullish cross, but we are oversold. If we stay below that 30 with the stochastic, we will stay in bearish territory, meaning we will continue some sell-off and see lower price action. But if we can get above 30, as that's our neutral for our stochastic, this double line, and our RSI, the red line, our neutral is 30, anything above 30 is bullish, anything below 30 is bearish. Bullish means you will continue to head forward. So, we are in bearish territory with stochastic. If that continues, RSI will continue toward bearish territory. The other 3 parts of this indicator, they work together, just like the stochastic and RSI work together. Stochastic gives RSI strength. As the stochastic comes down, RSI comes down. These indicators work in groups or pairs. So the pair for these, stochastic RSI. Your next pair or a group is your momentum, your VWAP, and your money flow. Momentum's the big blue wave, VWAP is our yellow wave, and the money flow is our green wave. Momentum is overall the medium-term buying and selling pressure if you're going up or down in the medium to long term. Overall, it is below 0. When these 3 are below 0, they are bearish. So we have bearish strength on our momentum. Our VWAP gives our momentum the strength, and you can see that is in the bearish territory as well. We could have lower highs here on our VWAP. If we make lower highs with the VWAP, we could continue to favor bearish territory, and that would be a rejection of creating some sort of a bullish trend. A bullish trend would be created when we have higher lows with higher highs on this VWAP in an attempt to break through 0 and become bullish to push momentum back up. If we were to see VWAP do that, then our money flow would be able to start to round back forward, as the money flow is the long-term buying and selling pressure that shows you what kind of trend you are in. That's why it's important to watch. If you're right on money flow and you're seeing price go up, that price increase may not last. Over on Bitcoin, we are very indecisive as we hit these EMAs. Our blue EMA, our second lowest EMA, is struggling to break through this purple EMA. We are breaking below it and trying to hold. If we see price action make a rejection from this zone and we continue down, or dominance percentage in this case, then it's very likely people will start selling Bitcoin for stable coins or altcoins, so I would be wary, or they could sell it off for dollars. Our stochastic does want to round forward. We have our blue line above our orange line, so we have bullish strength pushing us above that 30, so we are in bullish territory as well. If that can continue, our RSI could continue forward. Momentum is trying to push forward. We do have a bullish divergence, but remember, bullish divergences don't always play out. Nothing is 100% in trading. That's why you always want to be prepared for both sides of the trade. VWAP is pushing forward. It is in bullish territory, but it's starting to round away. If our VWAP continues to round away, momentum will start to round off, as that momentum continues to round off, that money flow is going to continue weakening, and then that would put dominance in a spot where it could become in a bearish trend, and dominance could start another sell-off like back here. So just be weary of that possibility. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we did technically come up and attempt to fill our gap, but we gapped above our gap. So now we could end up rolling away, pushing back into this pattern, invalidating a break up from it, and then seeing both of these gaps fill, leaving this higher gap at 43K to fill later, and then we could start to see those lower gaps we keep mentioning fill around that 34K, around that 31.5, again at 29, 30K, and then again at 25K, and that major one at 20K. Again, it would take a lot to get to 20K, but we have not seen Bitcoin act in a recession either. RSI is overall heading down. Stochastic is in the bearish territory. It is oversold right now. If it cannot rebound into that 30 and above, we are going to see this RSI continue down. VWAP is trying to break into bullish territory and push forward, but it's starting to struggle. Our momentum does want to round forward. Money flow is attempting to break forward as well. So if the VWAP can break forward, we will see money flow break back into a bullish trend, but we would need that bullish trend to hold for the next couple days if we got any hope to break this point control. That was futures. So futures price does also dictate Bitcoin price. We don't quite have the double gap here on Bitcoin, but if we were to see futures start to round away and pull back to fill that double gap, we will see Bitcoin round away and pull back as well. And that could bring us near the tip of our pattern. RSI is overall coming down. Stochastic is overall in the bearish territory. Money flow is coming out. VWAP is favoring the bearish territory, struggling to break through that neutral. Our momentum does want to push forward. We do have a green dot, but we are struggling here. If we cannot break through this 40K in the next candle or two, it's very likely we are going to see a rejection of the psychological 40K zone, which is an even zone, and even zones tend to be a psychological support resistance. Stochastic's overall pushing down. We do want to see a little bit of a bullish cross as that blue is trying to get above orange. We'll have to see if that can do much for us. We are pretty tight here and overbought already. RSI is trying to head forward, so RSI may continue up if that stochastic makes that bullish cross and remains overbought. That VWAP is in the bullish territory. We are seeing lower highs though with a lower low. If we continue to break down, we roll over here, solidify a lower high, and then make a new lower low and break into the bearish territory. We could see the bears remain in control, money flow pull back, momentum would round away, and that would overall lead to us breaking this pattern. Remember, no pattern's 100%, and there is always the possibility of you breaking a bullish pattern to the bearish side. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is heading down, momentum is pushing out. VWAP is in the bullish territory, trying to gain some strength. Our money flow is starting to curl away from that neutral. It just can't quite get above it. If this money flow remains in the bearish territory and VWAP starts to pull back, we're very likely going to pull back, break this 40K, and see price action start to slide from there. Over on the 1 hour, we did have a manipulation X that did not really play out as we got a bullish engulfing candle that pushed us forward, but now we're meeting that resistance area, so this is going to be a pivotal spot. If we cannot break up from here, we're likely going to pull back or try to consolidate. Consolidation would be the more preferred option if you want price to keep increasing. RSI is overall getting lower highs. It does want to curl away. Stochastic is trying to ramp up. It is above that 30. VWAP is in bullish territory. It's kind of starting to taper off though, so I would keep an eye on it. We do have lower lows with higher highs, so that is very indecisive. Momentum does want to push forward, but that money flow is struggling. If this VWAP breaks bearishly, and then we start to favor the bearish territory there, it's likely bears will remain in control. However, if this VWAP can make a bounce off neutral and then money flow stays in bullish territory and momentum comes up through that neutral, then we will see continued price action forward. Over on graph for the daily, RSI is overall heading down, Stochastic's overall heading down, money flow is in the bearish territory, VWAP is trying to break bullishly but it's starting to struggle. We do have that descending channel. We did attempt to break forward from, but now we're kind of retesting it. So you want to look on the lower time frames to get a better idea of where we're going. That's why we trade the lower and higher time frames, because the lower time frames can help direct the higher time frames. Stochastic does look overbought here. It could potentially start to round away. RSI is getting overbought as well. VWAP is starting to get lower highs. Our money flow is starting to struggle and looks like it wants to break into bearish territory, so I would watch very closely here. If the VWAP continues to come out, momentum will start to pull back and our money flow will break into the bearish territory. Over on the 2 hour, you can see we are starting that break forward. If we come back and break back into this pattern, we would have a rejection of a breakout. However, if we pull back a little and then start to continue forward, we would have a retest with a confirmation of a break forward. So it's a pivotal area to watch. Watch the next few candles closely. Stochastics overall coming down. RSI wants to head down. Momentum is in bullish territory. VWAP did make a bounce off that neutral, but it's starting to round. If this VWAP cannot stay in the bullish territory, our money flow would be in jeopardy of starting to pull back, and then price action would likely come back down as well. Over on the 1 hour, RSI is starting to go flat. It is starting to round off. Momentum's overall heading down. VWAP is coming down. Money flow wants to start heading down as well as a result of the momentum pushing down and VWAP coming down. Our stochastic is starting to curl and the RSI is starting to head down with a red dot suggesting it wants to sell off. So overall, the daily does have some bullish strength here, but it is in jeopardy of breaking bearishly. So I would watch the next 2 or 3 candles and determine what kind of direction we could make from there. Over on Ankr for the daily, we are potentially seeing some consolidation. That would not be preferred, as consolidation in this range would cause us to see a drop. But remember, if the rest of the market continues forward, we would push forward here, invalidating that little bit of a stair step, then a break, then a stair step, then a break. So that little bit of a trend could still get invalidated. Stochastic is heading down. It does want to get a bullish cross. So if we can get a bullish cross, that could help push us forward as the RSI would start to turn around. VWAP is favoring the bearish territory. We do have lower lows with slightly lower highs. If our VWAP pulls back here, we would confirm a bearish trend. Momentum does want to head forward. It does have a green dot, double green dot. So that double green dot does suggest that it wants to pull forward. But if the VWAP rejects, that push forward is going to be in jeopardy. So I would watch the lower time frames very closely. Over on the 4 hour, we are hitting that blue EMA and starting to struggle. Stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to round away as well. VWAP's overall heading down. Money flow does want to reject the neutral, and momentum is starting to curl away. I would pay close attention to our VWAP. If it continues to head down, that's where our money flow will continue bearish strength, and we will see price action continue to break. However, we do have, actually, 2 hour looked a little promising for a move forward, but the 2 hour does look like this is a rising channel. Rising channels are bearish patterns that can break you down, so I would watch very closely. If we continue forward, meet this rising channel, that could end up pushing us to the top of this range where we broke away from, retesting that range, then getting a rejection for possible lower lows. Stochastic's overall heading down. RSI wants to head down. Momentum is heading forward. VWAP is starting to get lower highs. It did try to break in bearish territory, and the money flow wants to come down. So if our VWAP makes a bit of a pull back here, we will see momentum continue down, and that money flow will not rebound into bullish territory if that momentum continues to fall into that bearish territory and favor it. Over on the 1 hour here, RSI is heading forward, stochastic's running up. Our momentum does want to head up, but it's getting lower highs, making bearish divergence. Watch out for that bearish divergence with that bearish pattern, as that could be some confirmation that we will see a breakdown. Our VWAP is getting higher highs with higher lows, so again, very indecisive here as well. Money flow is maintaining a bearish trend, so if that VWAP rounds away and momentum continues to come out, we will see money flow remain bearish, and that will give us a higher chance of breaking down rather than up.
Around XRP for the daily, we were pretty indecisive today. This could end up being a long lower shadow candle if we are followed by a strong green candle. Or it could be a bit of an indecision or hammer candle, very small hammer candle, if we get followed by a red candle. That could suggest a push down toward that value area low. However, if we get that rounding bottom with that little bit of a strong green candle, that would attempt to break that 54 resistance. So I would watch lower time frames very closely. Much like everything else, we are very in between right now. RSI's overall heading down, stochastics heading down. VWAP is trying to get higher lows and push through to the neutral, so that is positive, as giving the momentum a double green dot. We will need a higher high with higher lows to come out of this for this money flow to start to reverse, and then price action would be able to continue in a bullish trend. Over on our 4 hour, we could be making a bit of a consolidation here, but that's positive because we got a bit of a break up after getting this push down and then getting a bit of consolidation. This rise up and then consolidation could give us a very small bull flag that would attempt to retest this 52 area. If we can see strong green candles and strong bullish momentum at that zone, that would give us the potential to continue forward. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI wants to head down, VWAP is very indecisive, money flow is heading away, and our momentum does want to push forward, but it's starting to round off. If our VWAP cannot maintain bullish momentum here, we will see the bears start to gain control and push us away, despite the possibility of a bull flag. Remember, no pattern's 100%. On the 2 hour, this could be more of a rising triangle. A rising triangle would be a bullish pattern as well. But again, watch these bearish indicators. Stochastic is starting to split off and pull back. RSI is starting to head down. Momentum is starting to curl away. VWAP wants to round away. Money flow is still in the bearish territory. But if the VWAP can maintain this bullish favor, we will see the money flow start to reverse. However, if our VWAP makes a break for the bearish territory and gets a lower low after getting this little bit of a peak here, we will see the bears remain in control and pull price action back down. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is starting to round off, RSI is starting to head down, momentum wants to round away, VWAP is starting to head down, and the money flow is very indecisive as we try to break bullishly, but now we're starting to come down. So I would watch the next couple candles. This is a bearish engulfing candle trying to form. If we see this bearish engulfing candle followed by a strong red candle, we're likely going to push lower and retest these weights.
So over to ALGO for the daily. Last but not least, we did get a bounce off that value area high the other day, like we have mentioned. We are attempting to push forward, but now we're getting a red candle opening for tomorrow. So if we start some sell-off here, we will not get bullish momentum as we have that indecision candle. Then we have a green candle, but the green candle is not very strong, so we need a strong green candle if this is going to become a rounding bottom. RSI's overall heading down, stochastic's overall heading down is in the getting a little bit of a bullish cross. We're at 14, so we are still in bearish territory, but if it can continue with this bullish cross, we will see that RSI rebound. Money flow is coming out, VWAP is in the bullish territory. If that VWAP can continue to favor bullish territory from here, we will see price action push forward. However, if this ends up being a weak high and then we roll over for continued lows, we will see bearish favor and that will bring us lower. Momentum does have that double green dot. It does want to round forward and push us up. But again, I would just watch very closely and watch the lower time frames. Watch the rest of the market. If the rest of the market pulls back, ALGO is going to follow suit most likely. Stochastic is pretty overbought on the 4 hour. RSI is heading forward. Despite that, VWAP does want to round away. Money flow is favoring bearish territory, and momentum does want to break bullishly. If the VWAP continues to push lower here, we will see the bears end up gaining more control and pushing us back under. However, if this VWAP can favor the bullish territory from here, we will see this momentum break bullishly, and then our money flow will follow, and that will help push us into a new bullish trend. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to push forward. I would watch out for a rising channel to form here though, as that could end up being a bearish pattern that would push us lower. Stochastic does want to round off. RSI is heading forward, but starting to lose some strength as that stochastic's losing strength as well. Our momentum is starting to round off. VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory. If we get a lower high here, we would start a new bearish trend that could start to pull us back. So despite us pumping forward, we're not quite out of the woods. We did warn of a retracement pump forward yesterday. The stochastic on the 1 hour is trying to push forward. We have a reversal arrow here. So this reversal arrow could suggest that this trend forward that we're trying to make could be short-lived and we could get a flush out. Stochastic is trying to push up, but it's starting to round, so I would pay close attention to it. If it starts to round here, RSI is going to continue down. VWAP would likely push down as well, and then that would lead to momentum rounding off, and then money flow could flip back into the bearish territory, and this would just be a quick retest of bullish strength. And then if we lose that retest, the bears are going to win and push us lower. So just be prepared for that scenario. If that were to happen, we would push through that value area high. If we cannot hold value area high, then 13.33. If we cannot hold that, then 11.36. And then our value area low and potentially other areas if we cannot hold those zones. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.